I know a handful of girls that would enter into Dracula's castle knowing exactly what's going to happen. And they would go in anyway because this is the story. This is where the oomph is. This is where the spice is. That's what we're here for. So, I was sitting back and I was thinking earlier, I don't even know what time it was or what I was doing, but I started thinking about how many female lead characters are in media that have little to no personality. And it just really started to bother me because, for example, I wanted to get like a whole list of characters that have been put together or written into the lead, female characters that didn't really have anything special about them, but it was constantly just put forward. But the only two that I put on there were Bella Swan and Elena Gilbert, because those were like the only two that I could remember. It's like early. I don't know what time it is. It's AM. Anyway, what I don't understand is how are these characters in the lead when there's nothing really like wowing about them? Now, it's not that I don't like the characters. I feel like they just could have been more defined in a lot of different ways. For example, in Elena's place, the show went on without her. She wasn't in the show for a while. She was not in the show. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, the show's still running. I mean, it's not even that different. And it's not that different because it wasn't necessarily about Elena. It was about everyone else and their relationship with Elena and their relationship with each other. Even though she was put forward as like, again, the main lead, everyone's talking about her, you know, she's a doppelganger, she's special. There wasn't enough. Same thing with Bella, basically. There are 3 specific points to this that have been bothering me. Really bothering me. Point number 1. They write them with little to no personality, but they make a point to mostly put it into dialogue where other characters are saying it instead of us actually seeing it. They put into the dialogue how great this character is or how special this character is. Their good heart or their good qualities. And it's like, okay, I understand, you know, you want the characters to talk about this. That's great. But what I don't understand is why we don't see it. Why is this not in the visuals? And mostly in writing, it's like one of the main rules is show, not tell. Duh. But it's even more so when it's like in visuals and in films and in TV shows and things like that. It's definitely show, not tell. You can't always tell unless you're doing a narrator. You want a narration in there. But still, I'm just saying, like, I don't understand why we're not given more visual breakdowns of why these characters are special. Where is her energy, her pizzazz, you know, her sparkle? Where is that? I don't see that. It's never really put in there. It's never really put forward as it should be. Point number 2. They always give some specific reason as to why this character is alluring. In Bella's in Bella's story, for her, what was his name? Edward couldn't read her mind. And I think there were some other things with the other vampires. I don't really remember the movies or the book or books. I don't remember much about the story for real. I feel like one thing about it, everybody had a twilight phase. Whether you loved it or hated it, it was a phase for everyone, which is really interesting. But anyway, nobody could really read her mind, you know, and that was something that was, you know, fascinating. Oh, you know, she's like, what's that word? Immune. I was gonna say immune. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Anyway, and on Elena's side, she was a doppelganger. And I think she was a witch too. not her necessarily, she was a witch, but I think there was like some witchcraft in her bloodline. And then I haven't seen these shows in a while. I haven't seen the movies or the shows in a while. But I do know that her daddy was a vampire hunter. And all these different things that happened. That was like crazy. I might have to go over Vampire Diaries because I watched like a bunch of seasons. I haven't finished it though. Oh, I'm supposed to be talking about this. Okay. So, for her, she was a doppelganger, which was a very important thing. Especially with the fact that, you know, Stefan was first attracted to her because she looked like Catherine. Obviously. But, again, there's always this little special thing that's brought forward about these characters that we're supposed to latch onto. Like, oh, she's special. She's inspiring something for these people. And I just don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like we need more. There's more than just some special stamp that this character should have. What really makes her interesting? What makes real women interesting? Why do we not see this in these pieces of media? And point number 3. And this is a pet peeve like a mug. What I don't like is the constant push for these main characters to always talk about how, and this is when they're with like the bad boy character, they always go the same way. I can fix him. I see the good in him. He's great. This, that, and the other. Trash, trash, trash. We don't want that anymore. I've seen enough of it. I've seen enough. I feel like that's garbage, because how are you going to sit here and you're going to look at this individual that is capable of crime, of heinous crimes, and talk about how the power of love is going to save you from anything bad happening? Who put this together? I don't appreciate it. I don't understand how this is supposed to be fixing anything. No, that's not real. That's really not real. I promise you it isn't. When you speak to women about why they like the bad characters or why they like the villains, it's an honest thing. Majority of us who are not deluded understand that these individuals are evil. We understand that this is a bad character. This is a villain. This is an individual with some pretty bad qualities. But in us liking these characters, this pertains to a very real portion of our set of beliefs, or real parts of our own inner psyches and characteristics that we wouldn't necessarily be able to enjoy or kind of delve into in these, 100% good, always doing right, the hero type character. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's just a certain level of freedom that comes with a character that has little rules, a character that is open and expressive. And I feel like there's so many limitations in putting this trope forward, because not everyone believes this specific thing. Not every woman is thinking, oh, I can fix him. Now, majority of women are raised to think this way. Yes, that is a very real thing, but they've been conditioned by society, by their parents, and by media like this. This is what puts emphasis on women being a rehabilitation center, basically. And that's garbage. That's not our job. And I don't want to see it in media anymore. I want to see women that are 100% knowledgeable about what they're getting into. I know a handful of girls that would enter into Dracula's castle knowing exactly what's going to happen, and they would go in anyway, because this is the story. This is where the oomph is. This is where the spice is. That's what we're here for. We're very well aware of what these characters are capable of. It's just really, really annoying and disheartening to constantly hear that saying, we can fix him. No, we can't. There are only 2 specific pieces. No, not pieces. English is so hard. There are only 2 specific portions of tropes that I will deal with at this point. Trope number 1 is that we don't need to fix him. He's fine the way that he is, and we like him that way. And trope number 2 is that the main character can make him worse. That's all I want to see. I want to see no more of this we can fix him. Because no, we can't. Forget him. He can fix himself. We want to see that no more. I'm tired of that. But I was thinking about the logistics of why this is a reality, why these characters exist. And the reason why these characters exist is because the people that are writing these characters are writing based off of their perception of women and not the real truth of who women are and how we think and how we react and how we do things. Now, I mean, of course, this is a shocker. You know, everybody doesn't know this, right? But I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna walk through your life with a specific perception, you have to understand that you are limiting yourself because you're not looking at things the way that they are. You're looking at things the way that they seem to you. And this will always keep you separate from understanding reality. You're never gonna get a complete grasp of reality if you're constantly in your own perceptions. It's just not gonna happen. And I feel like this is just such a limitation. It's such a huge limitation because we never get the right amount of what is it? There's never enough emphasis on the portions of the media or the portions of the story that actually matter. We never get enough of that. And we never get enough of that because, you know, people are creating media based off of what looks good or makes sense to them. And the thing about it is, as writers, as artists, as philosophers, you know, you have to understand that the rule, art imitates life, is a very real thing. Not just a rule, but it's just like a statement that is true. It's very true. Art does imitate life because what are we doing if not mirroring real world experiences in what we create? I mean, that's what art is. And if you're gonna do that, do it right or don't do it at all. I just feel like there's just so much left. So many open spaces of things that are not filled with the type of media that is necessary, that is needed for goodness. There's so much more that can be done. There's so much more that should be in the forefront, but we don't ever get enough of this because we have too much of the same garbage going around. I'm just really tired of seeing the same 3 female character tropes, just the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. That's annoying. We need more. Where are the female villains at? And if you're gonna put a female villain forward, please stop making these female villains caricatures of male fantasies. That's annoying. That's so annoying. It's so annoying. Because it's just like, why are we constantly robbed of personhood? Even in fiction. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. Why don't you just write things the way that they're supposed to be written? Why is there so much emphasis on bullcrap? We need more realism in fiction. And not necessarily in a way to where it takes away the fun of it. No, adds the fun of it. I'm talking about the psyche, you know, be creative. If you're going to be legendary in artistry, don't shy away from things being real, because there's always going to be an element of realism in every piece of fiction or fantasy that is put forward. Because to me, in my opinion, life is supposed to be special in certain ways that you can reiterate in fantasy and in fiction. I mean, why do you think most people that experience, why do you think that majority of the greatest people known in art and in all these different creative aspects experience so much in their lives? They were feelers. They were understanders of certain portions of the human experience. And they were able to communicate those portions in art in a way that connected with people, in a way that spoke to people. And I feel like there's so many ways that this could expand in art, more than it already has. And it's just not because people are incapable, but because they're limited by perception, by pride, by greed, and by people who are just weird. I mean, why shouldn't real creative people be able to break down stories in these real ways? I just don't understand it. I don't understand why there's so many rules and walls everywhere that don't make sense. It's stupid. Very, very stupid. Yeah, I'm tired of these just like flat characters. Why do you guys write women so flat? If you would just maybe sit down and speak to a woman for 5 minutes, you might get something. I just don't understand what's going on.